In the heart of a forgotten forest lay the ruins of Avondale House, once a sprawling estate, now reclaimed by ivy and wild roses. Among the locals, it was known not for its once stunning gardens, nor for its grand architecture, but for the legend of the Lady of Languid Lace, a tale that ensnarled the hearts of all who heard it, much like the lace that once adorned her delicate frame. The tale begins with a young woman named Isabella, an artisan of unparalleled skill in lace making. Her work was not simply fabric, but art, capturing the very essence of beauty in each thread. Isabella lived alone at Avondale House after a fever took her family, leaving her the vast estate and a cavernous loneliness. Isabella's life was her art, and her lace became her solace, each pattern woven with a sorrow that only heightened its elegance. Nobles from far and wide sought her craft, and thus she survived, a recluse amongst her threads and memories. One misty morning, a traveler, a merchant of exotic textiles, found his way to Isabella's door. He was struck not only by the magnificence of her lace, but by the melancholic grace of its creator. A love grew between them, a bond spun as intricately and as fragile as the lace that had brought them together. They planned to wed in the spring, and Isabella set to work on her masterpiece, her bridal veil. It was to be her opus, a tapestry of her journey from sorrow to love. Yet fate, as fickle as the winds, had a cruel twist in store. Her beloved vanished, whispers of debts and danger left in his wake, and Isabella was once again alone. Time passed, and the lace lay unfinished, the threads languid and still, much like Isabella's broken heart. The villagers spoke of how she wandered the halls of Avondale House, her once bright eyes now dull, her spirit as frayed as the edges of her unfinished veil. And then she was seen no more. Years turned to decades, decades to centuries, and the house fell to ruin. Yet the legend of the Lady of Languid Lace lived on, whispering through the trees and the fabric of the town's history. A young historian named Clara, captivated by the tale, arrived at the ruins one autumn day, notebook in hand. She was determined to uncover the truth of Isabella's fate and the love that had almost been hers. As Clara explored the remnants of Avondale House, she found, to her astonishment, a room untouched by time. There, among the decay, stood a loom and a lace veil, its beauty unmatched, its threads telling a story of love, loss, and longing. Compelled to finish what was begun, Clara sat at the loom. She worked her fingers, guided by an unseen force, weaving the final threads of Isabella's tale. As the last thread was tied, a figure appeared before her, ethereal and sad. The Lady of Languid Lace, for it was she, gazed at Clara with eyes that held centuries of sorrow. "You have completed what I could not," she said, her voice a distant melody. "But with each thread, you have woven my release." With those words, the spirit of Isabella began to fade, her form unraveling like the lace that had been her life's work. As the last of her essence dissipated, the veil Clara had completed shone with a radiant light, then turned to dust, leaving behind only the memory of its beauty. Clara left Avondale House, the legend of the Lady of Languid Lace complete. She penned the story, and Isabella's artistry and tragic tale were immortalized, her lace work celebrated as a metaphor for the intricate and fleeting nature of life and love.